want to welcome you guys back to our channel. Thank you very much for being here with us today. Today we are going to be sitting down with Peter Curk, which is the CEO of Iconomi. The first question I asked him behind the scenes was how to pronounce the name of his company, because some people call it Iconomi, some people call it Iconomi. So there's many different ways to pronounce it. So as soon as he starts talking, the first thing he's going to tell us is exactly how we're all supposed to pronounce the name of his company. Peter, welcome to the show today.
Thanks for having me. The correct name is Iconomi.
Wonderful.
Um,
So if we start off really easy, what was the inspiration behind the creation of Iconomi?
Maybe let's start from the name because you put it up. So the name starts from the early crypto days, or early, let's say the ISO crypto days, where ICOs were really something that was happening on a daily basis. So the name is composed out of ISO, so as an ICO, and then Nomi, which is like many of them and many different ones. So it was supposed to be the idea at the beginning, before all the pivots that we did, was really to support crypto projects that were just about to being launched in getting the right audience, getting the right investor base, and try to help them grow. So yeah, that's the how the name started. But the idea of the company was from its beginning to actually create a way of investing that that already takes into account the tokenization and the blockchain technology, which allows new forms of investments, which are made much simpler than the usual, funds and stuff like this. Yeah. So we started out with 11 crypto strategies, and here we are today.
If you think about it, a lot of people, if they have heard of your company, the word crypto trading comes to mind, pops into their head. Hey, this is a platform where we could do crypto trading, and not only that, we could actually see what else other people are doing and then mimic what it is they're doing. And we don't really have to know exactly what it is we're doing. As long as we follow them, we'll be able to make some money. Would this be an accurate way to describe what it is Iconomi does?
It would be an accurate way to describe what we were doing. Once we learned about the new forthcoming regulation in the European Union, so I'm talking about MiCA here, we decided to also change a bit the business model. So today in the Netherlands, maybe for the audience is to be really give some information. The company is headquartered in London, but we also have another company in Amsterdam. And these two companies now fall under different regulatory regimes. So the initial idea was to have just one company, but then the Brits decided to do Brexit. So now we have two companies. But coming back to the company at the moment, we are moving into a portfolio management offering where we offer our clients in Europe and in the Netherlands the possibility to basically invest in portfolios that are managed by us. And these portfolios enable users to basically track sections of the crypto market, the whole crypto market, or also invest in crypto portfolios that we actively manage. So it's more of a copy investing than copy trading. Let me also point out the slight but very profound difference, which I think I always like to talk about the difference. Yeah. So trading, first of all, the second word in what you said is it's something not necessarily good for the retail investors. The trend of making or convincing a retail investor that he's a good trader, I'm talking about the average investor, started with the FX industry, when everybody was trading Forex. But I believe that all the data shows throughout now the last 10, 20 years that retail investors are really very subject to the different psychological effects, and on long term they don't prove out to be really good in trading. Because trading requires a lot of research, it requires a lot of knowledge, it requires a lot about knowing yourself and how you react in stressful situations in regards to money. Yeah, that's like to just name a few things. Yeah, while investing is a totally different game. So money should be making money, and you should not have an afternoon hobby spending like 5 hours following, the charts and everything. And so
That
this
should
is
be
the,
your whole commercial right there. You don't have
sorry?
to spend, that should be your whole commercial right there. You don't have to spend 5 hours every day on this app.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I usually say that by investing in crypto, somebody should not get a second job. It should get his money to make money.
Yeah.
And just, so yeah, that's a completely different approach to investing versus trading. And the second one is the copy. It's because you use the word copy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we think is still relevant. But by copy investing on our platform, we mean you copy or invest into portfolios that are managed by us as a professional service provider, and also by partners that we are now in talks with that are actually professional service providers. The usual copy trading model works a bit differently when you copy more or less, let's say, experienced traders.
Yeah.
And it also has some other differences that maybe it's not interesting for the audience to know. It's basically how the back end of that model works. Yeah.
The first question, and everybody asks, we are dealing here in the crypto industry, the crypto market. How does your company, how does your platform ensure security and transparency?
Yeah. So we basically have quite extensive disclosures on our platform since 2 years already now. Yeah, we are regulated by two regulators. One is in the UK and the other one is in the Netherlands. And the FCA side of the business, so the UK side, has been really advocating consumer protection for now, I think, more than a year and a half. A very restrictive financial promotion regime is in place there. But we've decided to approach that and take that as a stance, though. So not to say, oh, they're like, we have to, but let's take that as an advantage and really be very transparent and fair about how do we communicate. If you will go to our website, it's already today full of risk disclosures, price disclosures, data disclosures, fee disclosures, and everything, which is much above the level of an average crypto service provider in Europe would do. Yeah, but we apply that same policies also to our Dutch side of the business. So that's one thing. Another thing which I think we really do for the investors, and it's maybe even not communicated enough through our platform, is we basically connect with multiple crypto exchanges, and what we actually do is we have a very restrictive listing process. The crypto space is full of altcoins, and all the exchanges, they will say, oh, lower fees, new coin here, new ICO there, whatever. So they basically, the exchange platforms, they are geared toward pushing the investor or the retail investor into trading, and now having a lot of transactions and so on. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they show you the bar charts, and the whole proposition is about trading. And for them to work, what they need to do is they have to have always these new coins, something new and so on, because they keep you engaged this way. We, on the other side, we take the other approach to it. So for us, it's like we will not list the coin if it's not traded on at least 3 exchanges that we work with. We would not list a crypto token if, of course, it's not compliant with any regulation. And most importantly, we will not list, and we will actually, even if we listed it in the past, we will actively delist the coin, the token, if it falls under a certain liquidity threshold. Meaning we real-time monitor the actual traffic and trading that happens on the exchanges that we connect with for all the tokens that are listed on the platform. And if we see a token is becoming illiquid, which nowadays could not be a problem, but 2 years ago when there was bear market, you would be surprised, and the usual, the average person investing would be surprised how low was the actual liquidity of certain coins. And this way we actually protect the investors, that they are not stuck with a token that it has a face value on an exchange maybe of 100, but in reality, if they would want to sell a bigger amount of it, they would lose at least 50%. Yeah.
When you
And
talk about,
sorry, yeah.
But when it comes,
Go ahead.
how does your platform really bring it into account that, hey, there are some crypto investors who are seasoned. They know what they're doing. They're trying to get through that whole phase to see if there's a rebound or not. And there are those who, hey, they just want user-friendly useness and she wants to understand what it is they're doing. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, the more professional or more advanced users, what they usually create on the platform is they create, as we call it, a private strategy slash portfolio, meaning the core of our platform from a user perspective is like how you can manage all your tokens in one portfolio. Yeah, so you see the how much you have in, I don't know, let's say Bitcoin, how much you have in an altcoin, and you manage that as a portfolio of crypto assets. And this allows you to make also then a bit more rational decisions instead of, having a token here, a token on DeFi, and so on. Yeah. So we basically allow the users to connect, to basically replace all their various platforms, wallets, and everything, bring everything together in one place and manage it like a strategy. And this strategy can have on the platform very advanced rules of automations, taking profit rules, stop losses, trailing stop losses. And there is really a huge world of automations a professional or more experienced user can do. On the other side, the let's say the newcomers to the platform, they can simply, of course, buy the tokens that we listed. Plus, what they can do is they can copy, invest into portfolios that are prearranged and managed by us that have different volatility, that had maybe different indexing section of the market, or that are maybe potentially actively managed. So we can cater to both of these two target groups through the same platform.
Now, you mentioned decentralized finance. How is that influence Iconomi? Because the growing interest in decentralized finance is taking over. More and more
Yeah.
people are showing interest in it. More and more people are understanding it. Has this been influencing the way that you guys run your company?
Definitely. Decentralization, so DeFi, if I keep it simple, is part of our strategy. So what I believe is, and so far, so let me put it like this: we very closely monitor what's happening in DeFi, but at the same time, we also know the risks that are present in DeFi. The potential hacks, the anti-money laundering or non-existing of anti-money laundering measures, potentially the bridges that they are there. So there are a lot of technological risks involved in DeFi, which for the retail newcomers to the market, they are maybe not aware of, which is why at the moment, what we do is we basically monitor the DeFi development space. And when we will assume, okay, now it's ready. Now I think it's matured enough that we would start also trading and basically investing through DeFi platforms. Then we will actually go there. At the moment, our stance is that for retail investment and for the business model that we run, the DeFi space is not yet ready. We would increase the risk if we would go there. Of course, on the other side, there are potential opportunities to gain more returns and stuff like this, but the risks increase significantly. My
Okay.
take on the DeFi space is actually that it's going to be firstly adopted by on a B2B, on a wholesale, finance in the finance industry as on a wholesale level, meaning to improve the efficiency of the industry and so on. And later, it's going to go to the retail side of that. We had, for example, over the last 12 months, we've seen tokenization of the classical financial instruments, and we are in discussions with potential offers of such tokenized, for example, money market funds. When they create a token, which is actually a representation of an existing money market fund. And that's why I also think our platform is really well positioned for the future, because if the traditional financial instruments are going to be tokenized, for us, any token is just a token, and we are ready we're ready. We were born ready for this.
Very good. Now, if I shift the questions towards specifically our Dutch market, for the first-time user, what would be your number one advice when it comes to joining and signing up becoming a member of Iconomi, what should be the first step for them?
Yeah, let me first say, I assume it's somebody who heard of this. He knows a bit about the cryptos investment space, but he's not really an expert. So my advice would go into two actually separate advices. One, and the most important would be on how to define his investment strategy. And the second one would be then on basically how to select the right offering for him. So if I go back to the first one, the investment strategy for me would be something like, before I invest my first euro and deposit my first euro to the platform, I want to make a decision what is going to be good enough of a return for me. Meaning, if somebody will invest 1,000 euros, let's assume, and then he does that, and before he does that, he says, I'm going to be satisfied if I get 50%, a 50% return is a huge return.
Yes, it is.
And it is. But crypto is on a side, it's kind of caught into its own expectations. So when people approach crypto, 50 is not good enough for them.
No.
And that's where then the psychological basically tricks start playing out. So my advice would be, okay, define, let's say I'm going to put in crypto only 3-4% of all my investment portfolio throughout all the asset classes. And then I'm going to go and just simply go into some very simple strategies. And before actually depositing on the platform, I will also set up the take profit rules on the platform. Meaning I can go to the platform and say, if the investment goes up by now 20%, 30%, whatever the goal this investor would set himself, then sell part of those profits. Yeah. So this is like what I'm talking about is the taking profit strategy. So to make your money really make money and then take that money out of the market. And this is something that we see retail investors usually are always too late, because there's always like this when the price tag is going up, it's always like, oh, I'm going to wait a bit more. And then
you don't want to sell.
Exactly, and never sell. They never sell, and so the profit it's always just a theoretical. It's like an imaginative profit, but you have to sell if you want to make profit.
Yes, you do.
And what it's maybe ironically, but since the inception of the economy, we've always had more withdrawals from the platform than deposits, because the platform has always generated its main purpose. The purpose is to make money.
Yeah, and you want to
and despite despite our users always, each year basically withdrawing money from the platform, the total amount of assets on the platform has always grown, because they were able to generate profits while the assets were still increasing.
Very good.
So then coming back to the second part is what to invest in. Maybe they should just start with Bitcoin and put a portion of the investment in Bitcoin, because it's an asset. It's simply an asset that it stands out of the pack, to keep it simple. It has reached regulatory certainty in the biggest world market, meaning the US, and it's also in Europe. So it's a totally different asset compared to any other asset. Maybe ETH comes close to it. And then there should be a small part of the money to invest in maybe a thematic or an indexing strategy. But this really then comes down to the individual preferences of the investor.
The evolution right now of tokenized portfolios is shaping the future of crypto. How are you guys preparing for this? How are you guys going to move towards the direction of being able to actually offer something that people are actually going to want?
Yeah, at the moment, let me take it from. So as I told you before, we are ready for the tokenization wave that's coming. So any strategy portfolio that we have on our platform, technologically speaking, we are able to tokenize it. We were able to tokenize it 4 years ago. So now with MiCA stepping in force in Europe, this is also becoming a regulatory clearance for it. So I believe that over the next couple of years, we will simply start actually doing it and taking advantage of the technology that we have to do that. Yeah, so I think it's really a very convenient way to actually then distribute our product or our portfolios through other trading or investment or trading platforms. So I'm looking forward to it actually.
And at the end of the day, Iconomi is trying to grow in the Dutch market. What are your next steps?
We are just about to apply for MiCA license. I don't know when this is going to be going to go live, but so we are in the licensing process at the moment. So we hope to get and fulfill all the requirements of the regulator till latest mid-year, and at that time actually keep working in the Netherlands and expand to Europe. Yeah. So far, we've really been focused on the Dutch market and the UK market before that. So I see our biggest opportunity actually then expanding into Europe. So at the moment, we are still a new player to the Dutch market because we've acquired a crypto company registered with the Dutch National Central Bank only end of 2023. So I still think it's really about people getting to know our platform and our products. So I'm really looking forward. I think the Dutch market is a very competitive one, but the Dutch consumer is a very, very open-minded consumer and digitally advanced. So that's why we also selected the Netherlands.
And if I should ask you, what is your unique selling point? What would your answer be?
Huh. Difficult one. You're asking me to like say one. What I would say is maybe the trust we've managed to build over the years. We've been in the market for more than 8 years. We've been in crypto. We know the industry really deeply. And for example, we've been in the market for more time than Binance. There is an element of trust, and because we've made in the early days our own mistakes, and we know from experience what not to do and what is the right pace to take the new technologies. So we position really ourselves, try to have a very, very restrictive attitude to new coins and new tokens, and really try to make everything as easy as possible for the retail investors to invest.
Is there going to be a different approach Monday? Donald Trump takes office. Will your approach to how you handle the market change?
I'm not sure about that. I think most of the pricing expectations are already inbuilt, and we take all the investment strategies from a more midterm perspective, not to try to gain from this very short-term moments and sentiment changes. So investing is more mid to long-term thing. So that's why the small little daily events, even if they're big as the Trump inauguration is, we try not to really trade them.
Okay. We got today a very in-depth look into exactly what you guys do, how it is you do it. We also understood exactly where you're going, what is your positioning, what is the way you actually want to do business. But is there anything else you believe the Dutch investor needs to know?
Well, I really would just invite them to check out the platform. We, of course, also have a very strong B2B proposition, which we were not mentioning, but if there is any other investor in our B2B business that wants to get in touch, just please feel free to reach out to me, because we offer also solutions for example, alternative fund managers, portfolio managers, wealth managers, and financial advisors that want to enter the space and maybe they don't have their own technology and platform to do it. So we can become their trusted partner of choice.
Wonderful. So to everybody who's watching, thank you very much for being here today. It was amazing to talk to you today, Peter. Thank you for making the time for us.